the really great thing about Vogue is that it has kept all these photographs intact. Now, there's always, photographers always saying, well, we ought to have it back, we ought to have our stuff back. Now, that's true, but I've known two photographers, both elderly now, Vogue photographers, whose work, a large part of it has been destroyed by fires. One was destroyed by fires, the other was burgled. Now, Vogue has managed to not be burgled, because it never will be, and not to be to go on fire. So it's a great repository. We're keeping these things safe for posterity. I mean, and you could not go into any other magazine in Europe and do this kind of exhibition. I mean, our archive is absolutely unrivaled. And the magazine is wonderfully inventive today, which is why there's so much from nowadays. But there is something about the sort of recentish history of the 20th century, which marked in photographs gives a remarkably sort of resonant flavour of the times. And we wanted to try and capture that a bit as well, and goes back as far as we could. Lee was there the day Paris was liberated. It was an amazing thing for Europe, and the photograph she has is a little tableau of a young girl student sitting in a cafe, and dotted around her are bullet holes in the glass. And Lee had a great surrealist sensibility. She'd been Man Ray's lover in the 30s. She was a remarkable portraitist and, for want of a better expression, an art photographer in her own right. And she brought that sort of her artistic eye with these bullet holes mapping out the glass behind the student. She brought this sort of surrealist sensibility into Vogue photography. And that I do think Mario Testino is our latter-day Cecil Beaton, both in the way he carries himself. He's a very flamboyant, very charming man, and also a first-rate photographer, and has entree now to really whatever he feels that he wants to do, like Cecil Beaton did earlier. I mean, you know, their styles are remarkably different. I mean, Mario, I think, is much more of a camera technician when it comes down to he knows his equipment very well. Beaton had a rather sort of soi-disant, rather disdainful attitude towards photographic equipment, but Mario really gets in there and does it. But again, in the sense of sensibility and style and charm, yeah, I think Mario is the new Cecil Beaton.